Hi guys, it's your girl Shay. Welcome to a fall garden reset. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I treat my plants in the backyard garden, my dad's plants actually, pest treatment, and how we bring our plants in for the winter. So this is actually the first winter that we have these plants. So, we kind of had to do some digging because Canadian winters, they definitely get cold and these plants cannot survive because they are tropical. So my dad chose which plants that he wanted to bring inside. So he has some lovely jalapenos here. So he chose which one he wanted to bring inside, and then we would treat them and then bring them inside, make sure there's no pests, no insects on it. And I wanted to show you all that process because maybe you're in the same boat as me. You didn't know how to bring them inside, you didn't know what to do. So we went to a local nursery. They're very knowledgeable with plants and outdoor plants. So we asked them and they gave us some advice. So they gave us 3 steps. So first step would be to spray down all the plants, make sure all the bugs kind of are sprayed off. And as you can see here, my dad has aphids. Okay, if you don't know what aphids are, they're little scaly bugs that grow on plants. They love to suck the nectar off plants and they just kind of sit there. Look at that, disgusting. So I sprayed it off with the hose, and then you have to let it dry, and then the second step would be to put diatomaceous earth onto the soil to kill the bugs. We'll talk about that later. And then you have to spray it down with a concoction of neem oil, soap, and water. You can even add hydrogen peroxide. So me and my dad have recently got into plants, and I've bought him this whole collection here. He chose them. He likes more flowers and outdoor plants, whereas I am more the tropical plants. So here's his little garden, and he wanted me to make this video for you guys because he said, can you do a video of like my updates on the garden and all that stuff? So here it is. So we have a couple plants here, some nice beautiful flowers, and so what I'm doing is just taking the hose, blasting it with water because the pressure from the hose will dislodge the bugs. So those aphids, see ya. And you're gonna see in a second because they just got blasted off. It worked like a charm, you know what I mean? And most of these flowers most likely will die during the winter, but that is part of their life process. So a lot of plants, like you see here, will have to go into what is called the dormancy period. So they are going to go dormant for the winter, and then in the springtime, the temperature, the amount of light is going to signal them to start to grow, and that's where you see all the beautiful buds and blossoms in the springtime. Look, those are aphids. Yeah. But this one you're not taking inside, right? It's so funny because you can really see how these plants have thrived outdoors. So in this planter, we actually have potatoes in here, and I don't know if you can see it, but they are vining plants. So they kind of like wrap themselves around all the other plants. It's really funny. So at the bottom, the nursery had recommended that we put some large rocks in it. That is just for drainage because we did put drainage holes in these planters using a soldering iron because they didn't come with them. But we also wanted to make sure that these plants are not waterlogged with all the rainwater, you know what I mean? So the rainwater just rains on top of it and then it filters through, and they are just happy and thriving. So this is a coleus plant. I actually have cuttings on sale on my Etsy shop, and these root super fast. Like I cut them and within a couple of days they were rooted. It was crazy. So these are very beautiful. I like the foliage, the color, it's very bright. And like I showed you in the beginning, they had some bees around it. So they're great for pollination. So if you're looking for something for your garden to attract pollinators, good pollinators, bees, wasps, all that stuff, this is a beautiful plant. And I just think it grows amazing. It grows so fast, so definitely a plant that you would like. So my dad had the idea to make these little do-it-yourself planters because we went to the store and they had these planters that was already made, and they were like selling for $50, $60. It was ridiculous. So my dad's like, well, why don't we just go to Canadian Tire, get some $5 plants, like these little tiny plants. They're gonna grow and we can make our own. And I was like, okay, cool. So we filmed it. made our own. So we actually planted some of these from seed, from bulb. It was really cool. And look at them now, like just thriving, just being in the nice bright sunlight. You can really tell how much they love it. And look at this transcendia, like it's trailing down. It is so healthy. The roots are nice and thick. I was just shocked. And I think I took a cutting of this too, also to propagate. And then the one with the like funny leaves over there, that is a sweet potato plant. And I just thought the leaves looked so cool. It reminds me of maple leaves, but yeah. So I'm just spraying down all the plants, making sure I get the undersides of the plants and the leaves, where bugs like to hide, making sure I'm blasting the soil, getting rid of any of those little critters because we don't want to bring them in the house and they can potentially infest my plants that I have upstairs in my room, and he also has indoor plants too. So we want to make sure that this is all cared for, everything's nice and clean. And so what we did was we watered them and then also put them to dry in the sun. And this just makes sure that they're not waterlogged. You know, they all have proper drainage, so everything was good. It's just more of so the blasting to get rid of the pests. Another thing we did was blast and spray down all the like containers because you don't want to track mud into the house. So I just sprayed down the sides, got all the dirt, definitely a lot of dust because caked on there because it was in the backyard. It like survived multiple rainfalls and wind and all that stuff, but the plants looked very healthy for the most part. Peppers, you know. So here is the jalapeno plant that we bought, and it has given us so many peppers, and it was definitely spicy. It wasn't as spicy as I thought it would be, but this plant is just popping out peppers like left, right, center. So this is a prized possession, so he wanted to bring this inside. So I'm just gently spraying it down. I just loved how it looked. Like this plant looks so healthy, and I cannot wait to get some more peppers. Okay, so the next step is to sprinkle some diatomaceous earth. So that is a naturally occurring soft silica sedimentary rock that can be crumbled into a fine white to like off-white powder. So you may be asking, how does diatomaceous earth kill insects? So what it does is it causes insects to dry out and die by absorbing the oils and fats from the cuticle of the insect's exoskeleton. So it has sharp edges and are abrasive, which speeds up the process, and it remains effective as long as you keep it dry and undisturbed. So the first rainfall clearly is going to disturb this and it won't be as effective anymore. But what we plan to do is treat it once and then treat it again if we need to. So the whole process is to spray down the plants kill off all the insects, spray them off, and then when the soil has dried, so this is a couple days later, I sprinkled the diatomaceous earth. And honestly, there was no instructions on the bottle, but I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. You just have to sprinkle a little bit onto the soil, and that should be effective enough. So I just took a little rake here and I'm just spreading it around, making sure it's getting everything. And the purpose is that the insects will like kind of walk on it, and like I said, it destroys their exoskeleton, so it will kill them. So we wanted to treat this a couple days before we brought it into the house. So we sprayed it off one day, waited a couple days, then spread the diatomaceous earth, and then we waited a week. And then in the last stage, I'm going to be showing you my pest prevention spray. Okay, so step 3. So this is a couple of days later to I believe a week actually. So we're gonna spray down the plants with some neem oil. So what I use is just tap water, neem oil, just like a couple of drops, and then you're gonna put some soap to emulsify the mix. And emulsify just means mix it together, because oil and water clearly don't mix together. So when you put the soap, it mixes it together. And what I'm gonna be doing is just spraying it on all surfaces. So under the leaves, anywhere that bugs can hide. I'm definitely gonna be spraying the soil, spraying the stems, the petioles. Make sure I spray under the leaves. That's where bugs like to hide. So how neem oil is effective is that the bugs actually have to eat it, they have to ingest it, and then that's what kills off the bugs and kills their life cycle. So I'm being very careful. I'm just moving the plants gently to the side, spraying every single surface that I can see under the leaves. And because this is a spray, it's very easy to get on all surfaces, and just spraying off the soil and all that stuff. The plants, I could not see any insects from what I saw. The aphids were completely gone, so definitely the diatomaceous earth definitely worked. So if you have spider mites or maybe another type of infestation like soil mites, fungus gnats, all that, you can use this to treat it. But now all the plants are inside for the winter, and I hope you enjoyed this fall reset. Let me know down below, are you bringing plants in for the fall season, or are you leaving them outside? What are you doing with your plants? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.